Welcome back, everybody, to Let's Play Wario Land 4 for the Game Boy Advance. And today we face off against Aerodent, my least favorite boss in the entire game. Oh boy. So, Aerodent isn't as aggressive as the other three main bosses, but he has the bulkiest stamina of all of them. And, let's just say if you're trying to attain 100% and you're going after the best ending, Aerodent is easily the biggest pain in the ass, and that is why I'm bringing out Visor Man for this fight. Let's hope he gives us the boost we need to make this fight more tolerable. He's so annoying, in fact, that I have a hard time dealing with him even in hard mode. So imagine fighting this fucker in very hard mode. You got like 3 or 4 bars off. That's okay, I guess. Alright, so Aerodent. Basically what you want to do is start off the fight by pushing him to the ceiling as quickly as possible, and then you toss these doohickeys at him. Once you do so, you hit him in the feet, and this is where the fun begins. So Aerodent is not as exploitable as the other bosses. What makes him annoying is the fact that, like, the segments in between where you can and can't hurt him are extremely long unless you time your shoulder bashes correctly. And in harder difficulties, you are expected to do this, because look at the timer. We are already at 224. This would be an automatic failure in very hard mode, meaning you have to shoulder bash in a way where you not only hit him, but you don't hit your head up against the float as you're doing so. All the while, you need to make sure you don't get hit by the stupid fire things that he tosses at you during the duration of the fight, and it's just a giant pain in the ass, because this fight demands so much precision. I'm getting lucky right now, but honestly, like, I wouldn't always have this luck in most other runs, let me assure you. This is the one boss fight where, regardless of the circumstances, I need to pull out the item shop here to help me, because goddamn, I hate this fight so much. And once you get him down to half HP or low HP or whatever, he starts tossing out the flame thingies to slow you down. And trust me, in a fight like this, where you have less opportunities to hit them and cheese them compared to the other boss fights, yeah, it's pretty much a death sentence. It is basically a death sentence. I got very lucky. I've failed quite a few attempts, even in hard mode, but first time's the charm. But yeah, I'm back, and I'm ready to kick some ass once again. So I just now moved into my new apartment. I'm now living on my own, finally, and I can record these videos more often than not. So yeah, expect a better upload schedule, hopefully, possibly, maybe. As far as the mini-game shop is concerned, though, considering that there is only 3 mini-games to tackle here, we'll be saving that for the last boss, but the last boss I don't think I'll need the item shop for. Honestly, now that I think about it, I don't even think I really needed the item shop for that battle. At least not in hard mode, anyway. I did a lot better than I thought I would, but let's not let that gloating get to my head, because I could let that falter at any second. We wouldn't want that now, would we? But yeah, welcome to the last passage of the 4 main ones. This here is the... It's on the tip of my tongue. You got this, Ken. Your brain just needs to operate for like 10 more seconds here. The Sapphire Passage. And the Sapphire Passage offers a horror-themed variety of levels. And I'd say out of the 4 passageways, I'd say it's kind of my favorite one. Not necessarily from the theme alone, but from the fact that, like, this level just has the perfect balance of both platforming and puzzle solving out of all of the 4 passageways. It definitely feels the most varied as far as level gimmicks are concerned, and a lot of the levels here are really fun. In fact, the last level of the Sapphire Passage is one of my favorite 2D platformer stages of all time, and as a result of that, my favorite stage in the game. So look forward to that. Look forward to that, my kiddos. Yeah, this level's trope here is that you have this asshole here hanging out in the background. Now, he doesn't necessarily hurt you physically per se. Let's see what I did there. But rather, he's going to be a mental pain in the ass. And that is because if you spot any loose coins or change lying about, he's going to come up and swipe them. I say loose because anything that counts as a floating, suspended, piece of change out and about in the level, he can't grab, like the crystals, for example, or that diamond, for instance. But anything like that, he can come up and swipe. Now, this honestly isn't too big of an annoyance. I mean, as long as you play your cards right, Crescent Moon Village is actually one of the easiest levels to get a top high score in. I think I've had one run where I got like 20,000 coins in here without much trouble. The problem is going to come from the escape sequence, where it's pretty basic for the most part. I mean, you don't really have to go through a whole lot of new grounds, or new territory for that matter, to get through the escape sequence and make it back to the goalpost. The real problem comes from another factor that I'll be covering later. But you see that? That light there shouldn't be suspended in the wall. So that's a little tip that you should be, keeping into account of if you want to find another hidden passage way filled with goodies and all that awesome stuff and things and stuff. Oh my. This passageway features a few new transformations, mostly exclusive to this passageway alone. We ran into Zombie Wario earlier. I'll cover that in more detail a little bit later. But this here is Bat Wario. Now, in Wario Land 3, Bat Wario was part of a transformation of Dracula Wario. But, there was no point in hanging around as Dracula Wario because you didn't really do a lot with him outside of, just floating around being a vampire, I guess. But you wanted it for the vampire bat ability because, well, it lets you fly. And if you played a platformer before, flying is good. Flying equals profit. In this game, they just skipped the Dracula process altogether and made it to where you get right into vampire Bat Wario no problemo, and I think that's a smart move, honestly. Speeds up the gameplay, and anything that speeds up the gameplay is a win-win in my book, for sure. If you do want to revert into normal Wario, all you need to do is simply hit one of these light posts here. Anything that's bright and shiny will turn you back. And of course, there's always water to account for as well. Keep that in mind. But yeah, the main reason this level is easy to get a top high score in is that this level just happens to be filled to the brim with spinies, especially in the harder difficulties. And in the harder difficulties, they bring out the black spinies. And I've already mentioned this before, but I'll explain it again. The black spinies are worth the most amount of coins out of any enemy you will encounter in this game. So, you do the math. You do the math. Makes you pretty rich extra quickly. For sure, for sure. You just gotta be extra careful because, they don't make this terrain as navigatable as you'd think. They place a lot of these blocks around, just to kind of get in your way. And, smashing them, as far as the spinies are concerned anyway, isn't always going to be a one-and-done ideal. So, I guess they kind of took that into account at the very least. And oh my god, you fucker. Quit taking my money! You greedy little punk. There can only be one greedy little punk in here, and that name is limited to Wario and Wario only. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Of course. gotta be super careful too, because these guys bounce all over the place, and like, if you get too reckless, man, they'll bump right into you, and those spikes hurt. They hurt a lot. Not necessarily saying that there are enemies that hurt more than others, because that doesn't really exist in this kind of game, but the threat is still there nonetheless. They can easily be the biggest pain in the ass, if unintentionally sometimes. Oh, and fun bit of trivia. If this song sounds very familiar to you, you might have heard it in one other game. Another more well-known Wario franchise. You might know it as something called WarioWare, which is unfortunately the thing that Wario is more well-known for these days. Sad face. But yeah, this same song, was actually played during the ending of the original WarioWare, the part where Wario runs off with all of the money and scams all of the guys who went and made minigames for him because he's a greedy little punk. And I don't know, I played this game before WarioWare, so and I say this because I know a lot of people played WarioWare, but not as many have played, you know, the Wario Land games, because they kind of like fell out of popularity after the 90s, unfortunately. Like, this was kind of like the last, you know, super big Wario platformer that gained any sort of kind of recognition to some degree, because I don't see people talking about this game anymore. But, yeah, after this, like, the only other Wario games that came out that were platformers were, you know, Wario World and, Smooth Moves, which I'm going to tell you right up front, I am not a big fan of Smooth Moves. Good God, I really do not like Smooth Moves, very much. I've got a lot of problems with that game. Oh boy. But, Wario World's okay. I liked Wario World. It's a bit short, contrary to, like, the arguments I've been making previously, where a short game shouldn't dictate the quality, but, with Wario World, it does kind of test my patience on that theory to some degree, because that game is a little too short. I think there's only, like, 10 action levels? 8 action levels? I could be sorely mistaken. But, yeah, where was I? I just kind of went off on the most random tangent here. But, yeah, I was just saying, that, a lot of WarioWare's music and sound effects, were recycled. Not WarioWare's, goddammit. Well, yeah, but, like, a lot of WarioWare's music and sound effects were ripped from Wario Land 4, of all things. So you have Wario Land 4 to thank for the weird direction the series went in after this point, for sure. Like, it's not just this song that was ripped from the game. You even have the minigame stuff. And I'm pretty sure I remember hearing the Palm Tree Paradise theme in, like, one of the minigames. I don't know. But yeah, they pulled a lot of music from Wario Land 4 into the original WarioWare, and then like they kept the same sound effects from Wario Land 4, even going into like Twisted and Touched up until Smooth Moves came out, and not fucked everything up, but like it changed the voice clips entirely. And oh my god! Did I say Smooth Moves earlier? I actually did, didn't I? I said Wario Land Smooth Moves. Well, smooth move there, Ken. It's supposed to be Wario Land Shake It. God damn it, Ken. Get your facts straight. I'm probably gonna fix that in post-editing anyway, but like, fuck, man. I don't know if that's a dyslexic thing or not, but man, I've had that habit haunt me for a lot of my recent playthroughs as of late, and it's getting so annoying. But yeah, no, Smooth Moves is actually a good game. It's probably my favorite WarioWare game, if I'm being honest, but no. I meant to say Shake It, was the Wario game I didn't really care for. I don't hate it per se. I don't think everything about it is bad, but to me it kind of reminds me of Star Fox Zero in some ways. Not always, but it just has this motif where it's like, oh, by the way, this game has a lot of elements from Wario Land 4, but we're just gonna shelve them in here just because, but not like improve upon them in any meaningful way. And the new stuff we do add intrudes upon the gameplay in such annoyingly specific ways that it hurts the pacing of the playthrough. Fuck the escape sequences and Shake It, man. I cannot stand the escape sequences, and they're made even fucking worse with the goddamn achievement system. And it's like, I just want to explore and have fun, damn it. Like, these achievements are a bit too much, man. So 100%ing Shake is a pain in the ass, but if you try to play the game, you know, pretty vanilla-ish, like, it's pretty bland, honestly. Like, I love the art style. The art style is really good, but, like, I don't know. To me, it just feels like Wario Land 4, but really vanilla, and it doesn't really get the concept of what made Wario Land 4 in the first place. It's just there to kind of, it's like shaking a wafer in somebody's face saying, oh, by the way, remember Wario Land 4? That was such a great game. This is a game that's a lot like Wario Land 4, but like, and then you play it and it's like, it doesn't quite feel like that, you know? It doesn't have that magic, I guess. I know that sounds very, very, like, shallow. And speaking of shallow, I'm getting my ass kicked by this clam. But, like, man. It just sucks that the last, like, platformer had to be that game, you know? And on top of it not selling well, it was enough to, like, tell Nintendo, oh, hey, we're pretty much done with Wario Land platformers. Let's just make WarioWare from now on. And I don't hate WarioWare. I think WarioWare is a really good series, no doubt. I was actually just playing WarioWare Gold for the first time not long ago, and I really, really liked WarioWare Gold. WarioWare Gold was really, really good, and it sucks that it came out so late during the 3DS's life cycle. But yeah, petition to bring back the Wario Land platformers, please. You know, there's probably another Wario platformer out there that I can't think of. That's off the top of, you know, on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think of the name of it at the moment. Oh yeah, there was Master of Disguise, right? I don't think I ever played that one, though. Or at the very least, I only played very little of it, and, like, that came before Shake It anyway, but I don't really have an opinion on that game, honestly. Like, I didn't play enough of it, and I don't know. Can't say I care, honestly. But anywho, now that we're at the escape sequence part of the level, this is when the fun begins. Oh boy, so it's pretty much a straightforward track to the start, except this guy actually becomes a detriment now, because he can actually steal Keyser off of your Keyser. You see what I did there? I'm so funny! So you're actually kind of encouraged to go really fast here if you want to avoid him, you know, from stealing your ghost buddy here, basically. And, yeah, it definitely makes this escape sequence kind of annoying, if only because you gotta backtrack so many times, and there's segments like these where you're kind of forced to slow down anyway, and it's like, ugh. But honestly, like, besides that, like, if you took care of all of the enemies leading up to this point, then really, this should not be much of an issue at all. This is definitely one of the easiest escape sequences, minus that. And as long as you stay fast and nimble, quick and nimble and quick, and not do that. See, the worst part about this is that sometimes he can actually fly off so far away that he can actually just take him straight back to the door you just came out of. And then you gotta backtrack even farther, and nobody likes that. Nobody likes unnecessary backtracking. I don't mind backtracking as long as it's, you know, necessary and it's fruitful. But yeah, I'd say this episode went down without a hitch. Best score, baby. Let's go. That level took longer than I thought. Oh boy. I don't know. It definitely feels like the Emerald Passage's levels are like longer than the others. I think outside of the third level, I think. But yeah. Next time on Wario Land 4, we're gonna take on the next two levels. So see you guys then.